Now at 5, how the city of Weir, Kansas is helping residents get rid of excess trash as issues with trash service continue. Plus, a Joplin Medical Clinic is sending aid for storm recovery efforts in central Oklahoma. And
Senate Republicans reject a bill that would have made the right to contraception a federal law. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill with their stance as Democrats hope the issue sways voters headed to the ballot box this November.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
the city of Weir, Kansas is taking steps to get trash off the street. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The city says they've had multiple reports of trash not being picked up and delays of service. Cards Trash Service is one of the 4 companies available for residents of Weir. According to the mayor, Joe Tavernero, it's the only service the residents have expressed issues with. The mayor says the city's made arrangements to remedy the excess trash.
We've got a lot of trash bins that are overflowing through town, so we went ahead and got arrangements to get a roll-off where our residents can get rid of their overflowing trash so we don't get it all over our streets. Some people are laying bags next to their bins because they're full.
That dumpster is going to be available for residents of Weir this Friday. The mayor says this is not a permanent solution. A Joplin Medical Clinic is sending mobile aid to the community of Enid, Oklahoma as they recover from severe storms. The Enid Clinic Great Salt Plains Health Building was damaged by high winds and hail, crippling their medical abilities. Access Family Care in Joplin is sending their mobile medical unit 250 miles west to Enid to help provide medical care in the GSP Health parking lot. GSP Health says they can still assist the community while repairing the roof and internal damage.
In the process of getting the roof replaced, and that's after 2 weeks, that's nearly done. Should be done in the next few days. And then the inside damage will take months to repair.
It's going to be as long as they need it. So we've got an agreement already for 90 days. If they need longer than that, then we'll just re-up that.
Great Salt Plains Health also has clinics in Canton, Cherokee, and Medford, Oklahoma. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a warm one once again for us today. Temperatures shot right back up into low to mid 80s for highs after, of course, we had more showers and thunderstorms across the region last night. But today has turned out to be a pretty nice day, and a light northerly wind at about 5 to 10. And it looks pretty good as we go through the evening hours. Not too much going on outside. We have pretty much clear skies across the region. You can see the showers and thunderstorms we had last night really just rolling away from us, and it looks good as we go through the evening hours. We're going to slide back through the 80s, 70s into the 60s. We'll bottom out lower 60s later on tonight. Now, we do have some rain chances still in the forecast. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
See you soon. Cherokee County, Kansas 4-H today raised some money for building improvements. The organization hosted a barbecue meatball dinner and a silent auction of items including yard games, clothing, home decor, fresh produce. Officials say the money raised will help update the building's kitchen, provide new bathroom cabinets, new windows, and cabinets for trophies and plaques.
This building was built in 1990 by volunteers, and so we just felt like it needed to have some updates done to it. Last year we did this, and we have painted, put new walls up, we did new ceilings and fans. But we're still needing to do some updates to the kitchen and the bathrooms, and then hopefully some new carts for the chairs and tables so that they roll easily.
Kids in the 4-H program helped run the event as part of a learning experience. It's an election year, of course, and that has a lot of lawmakers working to get their colleagues on the record about issues they think will sway voters. Today, the Senate took up a measure to protect access to contraception, in part because Democrats see reproductive rights as a winning issue this fall. Skyler Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
Senate Republicans successfully blocked a bill that would ensure Americans have the right to access contraception.
Senator Markey's bill creates a precedent to mandate access to abortion drugs for women and girls of all ages.
Republicans say Democrats knew the bill would fail, but moved forward with it anyway.
this is just a show vote in anticipation of the election.
This is not a show vote. This is a show us who you are vote.
Republicans contend they're not opposed to contraception, but add they don't think the bill is necessary, saying no one is going after birth control.
The right to contraception is protected in the United States Constitution, according to the United States Supreme Court.
But in the Supreme Court ruling that overturned Roe v. Wade, Justice Clarence Thomas wrote that he wants to revisit the 1965 ruling guaranteeing the right to access contraception.
This extremist court put contraception on the chopping block.
2 weeks ago, former President Trump said in an interview with the CBS Pittsburgh station he would consider restrictions on contraception, then walk that back on social media the next day, saying he wouldn't ban birth control. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Senate Democrats are also planning a vote next week on a bill that would establish a nationwide right to in vitro fertilization. Hunter Biden's ex-wife took the witness stand today as prosecutors try to prove the president's son was a drug user when he applied to buy a gun back in 2018. Testimony from the prosecution's first witness, an FBI agent, wrapped up this morning with cross-examination by the defense. The president's son faces 3 felony charges stemming from the purchase of a gun in which he said on the application he was not a drug user. Still ahead, healthy snacks that might not be so healthy.
A new study finds concerning lead levels in some children's snacks that are marketed as being healthy. I'm Christine Lazar with what parents need to know.
And next in Health Watch, concerns at the CDC as a human shows symptoms after being infected with bird flu. Topping today's Health Watch, for the first time, the CDC says bird flu has caused respiratory symptoms in one of 3 infected dairy workers. With concerns growing about avian flu spreading, there's renewed focus on a vaccine. Stephanie Stahl has an update on what's being called promising research.
Scientists at the University of Pennsylvania working on a new bird flu vaccine.
It mounts a very good, or elicits a very good immune response.
Penn immunologist Scott Hensley led the study on mice and ferrets. He says with the bird flu now spreading from cows to dairy workers, it's showing signs of mutating.
This virus is circulating very widely in birds and now in cows, and that scares me because cows are an animal that humans have a lot of contact with. What we fear is that the virus will start changing to replicate better in cows, and that some of those mutations that might occur during that process might facilitate better replication in humans.
Could this turn into another COVID?
Oh, I hope not. But we never really know when a virus is going to make that jump from other animals into humans.
Currently, the CDC says the threat to humans is low, but there is high interest in the vaccine that, in addition to people, might also be used in poultry or dairy cows. This new vaccine is following the same pipeline that led to the quick development of the COVID vaccine.
mRNA vaccines are such an agile platform. As soon as we see a new virus, whether it's a coronavirus or in this case a flu virus, we can very quickly design new mRNA vaccines to be specifically matched to what's circulating.
Currently, the virus is contained to workers exposed to infected cows. There's been no human-to-human transmission, but there is now the first case of a dairy worker with respiratory symptoms, which might make it easier to spread. Stephanie Stahl, CBS News, Philadelphia.
The 3 known infected dairy workers are in Texas and in Michigan. Americans are concerned about health care affordability as they get older. According to the West Health Gallup 2024 survey on aging in America, 73% of Americans under age 65 worry Medicare won't be available when they need it, and the numbers back it up. Medicare's trust fund is set to deplete in 2036. New research from University College London reveals adolescents diagnosed with internet addiction undergo brain changes that can fuel even more addictive behavior. Study also finds internet addiction can harm mental health, social relationships, academics, and career prospects. Researchers encourage young people to limit their internet usage. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our Pet Vet on Call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to give you some hints on how to attract bats to your area.
Plus, we get a break from the rain, but for how long? We're going to look at that coming up. Well, Well, of course, we had showers, we had thunderstorms across the region for us last night into the morning hours. And then as we worked through the daytime hours today, of course, our clouds broke up and then looked pretty good as we went through the afternoon hours. Let's check where we stand on rainfall. We had about 1/10 of an inch since midnight for the month, a little over 1/4 of an inch for the year, 17.5. We actually still have a deficit of about 2 inches of rain, but we are still officially out of our drought, which is good news. Nice shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. It's 79, Neosho 78, Nevada 85, and Veneta 82 in Chanute. We'll slowly drop back through the 80s, through the 70s later on tonight. But look at the heat starting to build. We're in June now, so officially, meteorologically, it's summertime. But the heat starting to build in as we go through the next couple days. Outside, sitting at 81, northerly winds are light at about 5 to 10. Of course, visibility is good through the evening. Slide back through the 80s, 70s, 60s, eventually near 60 for us a little bit later on tonight. Nothing going on though. All the clouds, showers, gone. Clear skies across Central Plains. You can see some clouds kind of rotating out across eastern parts of Arkansas. And if we go out toward the west, we have this ridge of high pressure, so it shoots the jet stream well toward the north. And it's this time of year that our jet stream is really starting to weaken, and that's why we don't get big storm systems in here during the summer months. We can have thunderstorms, of course, but not big storm systems themselves. By morning, 61, 62 degrees, few little clouds shooting through. We'll be back near 80 by the noon hour. We could get a random sprinkle. As we go into the afternoon, high temps mainly into the mid 80s across the region. So it's going to turn out to be a pretty good day. Tomorrow night, pretty calm. We slide back into the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. And then once we go into Friday afternoon, also looking pretty good. High temps a little bit warmer, mid to upper 80s. Now, Friday night, we're going to watch a complex of thunderstorms, very similar to what we had last night. Dive in late evening, so here's 11:30 p.m., and driving through the region. Some of these storms could be strong, possibly severe, late Friday night into Saturday morning, but then out of here by the time Saturday rolls around, but a few more trying to pop up again Saturday afternoon. So if we look at the big picture, like I was talking about the jet stream well to the north now, so now we get little waves that kind of rotate in, and a front will kind of hang out, and that's what we're going to have as we go into the weekend. But once we get into next week, we get some cooler air that draws in, and it's actually going to feel pretty nice by the time at least the first half of next week rolls around. 64 in the morning, 82 by noon, 84 for an afternoon high for us tomorrow. Let's go 86 on Friday, 83 Saturday with those scattered thunderstorms over the weekend, and then highs only into the upper 70s, which is pretty nice on Monday.
I can see the trend. Warmer over time, a bit drier over time.
Yep, moving into summer.
I guess so. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, we're going to check out the launch of Boeing's Starliner space shuttle after years of setbacks. Topping today's Consumer Watch, more data released today highlights the U.S. labor market is cooling. Private sector employers added an estimated 152,000 jobs in May. That's according to payroll processor ADP. It's well below economists' expectations. It's also a large pullback from the 188,000 jobs added in April. Younger kids can be fussy eaters, and parents often look for healthy snacks that also taste good. But a new study found lead in 2 popular organic-based products. Christine Lazar reports.
Macarena Rizzo is very careful about the food she gives her 15-month-old daughter, Venus. These are staples that you give to her a lot.
Yes.
That's why she bought these veggie puffs from the company Lesser Evil.
Something close to homemade, and I found that they supposedly have good ingredients, so that's why I picked them.
But a new study from Consumer Reports discovered levels of lead in 2 snacks from Lesser Evil. One with 112% of the daily allowance, another had 60%, and an organic puff from the company Serenity Farms had 53%, according to California's lead standard, which is the nation's strictest. Both the Serenity and Lesser Evil snacks are made with flour from cassava root.
A lot of these foods, especially when you consider root vegetables like cassava, they often get contaminated with lead through pollution, through the water, and contaminated soil. So in a lot of cases, it's unavoidable.
Consumer Reports testing did find that 2 organic puff snacks from Once Upon a Farm made with sorghum flour instead of cassava have much less lead.
In fact, one of them had the lowest reading we've had since we've tested these types of products since 2017.
The company Lesser Evil tells CBS News food safety is a top priority, and we conduct extensive testing for all Lesser Evil products that complies with California Prop 65 and federal standards. And Serenity Kids says our puffs are and have always been safe for consumption. All of our products test well below the maximum allowable dose levels. Consumer Reports recommends giving the cassava-based snacks they tested in limited servings, but Rizzo says she's no longer going to use them. Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
After years of setbacks and delays, Boeing has finally launched 2 NASA astronauts into space. The Starliner capsule lifted off from the Kennedy Space Center with astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams on board. It was their 3rd try after the last 2 attempts were scrubbed for safety concerns. Boeing designed and built Starliner, but it's years behind schedule and more than $1 billion over budget. Our Pet Vet on Call up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, how struggling farmers are benefiting from winds of change. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on that trash service and the issues impacting residents of Weir, Kansas. Plus, the city of Columbus, Kansas has a new police chief, and camp season kicks off in Miami, Oklahoma with the city's summer recreational program. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Some forms of wildlife can be very helpful around the yard. Bats, for example, eat a lot of mosquitoes. Well, today's question for our Pet Vet on Call, how can I get bats to occupy my bat house?
Oh, that's not easy. I've tried. They won't come to my bat house. Bats need a water source. So if you are near a pond, that is ideal. If not, then you need some water fountains or bird baths so they can get some water. Secondly, you need to attract a food supply. So a flower garden is good to have nearby that will attract insects and bugs that they can catch. Third, they need a warm, snug bat house. So to put it on a pole or at a building facing south or southeast so it gets nice and toasty and warm. Then you also want to make sure that your house is safe because you don't want them in your house.
No, you don't. We invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact on Wednesdays on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. Let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. No bats, but from the Joplin Humane Society, we do have this adult female chocolate Labrador Retriever. Her name is Odora. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we have Dwayne the Bark Johnson. The shelter says he's a 10-month-old German Shepherd mix who likes to join in on workouts. Of course, he would. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? Some nice weather ahead to get outside with the pets.
Yeah, it looks pretty good as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. We're going to back down to about 60 for an overnight low. Mostly sunny tomorrow, 84, 86 on Friday. We are going to get some scattered thunderstorms in here late Friday night into Saturday morning, and then again late Saturday into Sunday morning. But overall, looking pretty good.
We'll take it. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.